Law School Notes. Study constitutional law anywhere and anytime. Do you work? Do you have a family? Is your schedule so busy that you struggle to find time to study? The ebook was designed for smartphones and tablets. The paperback was created for easy reading and memorization. Hundreds of law books have been summarized into precise notes. Law School Notes, the bottom line to learn law. Available on Amazon. The ebook is $5.99. The paperback, $12.99. Law School Notes, the better way to learn law. Hello, I'm Carl Henry, author of Law School Notes, available on Amazon.com, in ebook and paperback, and is affordable. Today, we're going to talk about an item in constitutional law. We're going to talk about eminent domain. I have a question for you first. Has COVID-19 affected your business? Has the shutdown put you out of business? If the answer is yes, this will be of interest to you. Has the government used and even talked about eminent domain with you? No. They've just said, shut your business down. And they've said, well, you can come back to work when this is over. But have you been given the opportunity to go to court to fight over this? Or have they just said, shut this down right now? They've just ordered you to shut it down. So in doing this, have you lost everything you've worked for? Have you lost your savings trying to pay the rent? In essence, have they taken your business away from you because you can no longer afford to come back to your business? If this is true, then perhaps this might be of interest to you. And I truly think that there is a case for eminent domain and your right to go get just compensation from the government. Or they want to give the money to everybody, but have you received any significant money for the loss of your business? I don't think you probably have. Therefore, let's talk about how you can recapture or possibly recapture some compensation. And I think just compensation for your business that they've taken from you. So let's talk about this. Eminent domain. What is eminent domain? Well, ask yourself this question. Is there a property, have they limited the use of your property? Is that a yes? Is the government taking your property? Is the government regulating your property in such a manner that they've taken the property away from you? If the answer is yes, perhaps the constitutional law regarding eminent domain can protect you. And now let's talk about the rules of law. Eminent domain. A government's taking is valid when due process is applied and the court determines the economic impact is for the good of the state, either current or for future use. Well, I think this could be, COVID-19 is a necessity. They had to stop the spread of COVID-19. They had to stop people interacting with other people. So I think the state's excuse of a necessity and of taking can definitely be valid. But it does not negate their responsibility to pay you for your business, to give you just compensation. Let's go back to a taking. The Constitution prohibits the government from taking a property without due process, and nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. What is a taking? A taking is valid for a legitimate purpose and a rational relationship can be shown. Well, I think the rational relationship here is to stop the spread of COVID-19. So I think that justifies a taking. A taking also requires just compensation to the owner or possessor of land. Well, have you received any money? Have you received any just compensation? I don't think you have. And in this case, these are the two words, the owner and possessor of land. In other words, are you renting a space, let's say, in a shopping center that's been closed down? Do you have a restaurant inside a shopping center? Well, the owner of that shopping center could be looking for just compensation because they're not receiving rent, and you, the possessor of that space, is entitled to just compensation because you're shut down. The government has told you to shut down and you can no longer offer services. The owner of the shopping center and you, the tenant, I think should receive just compensation because the government has taken the business away. Now, eminent domain. The Constitution gives the state the right to take for public use. But fair market value has to be paid, has to be compensated to the owner or possessor of land. Procedural due process is required, and a reasonable notice must be satisfied. Okay, so you have to be compensated, market value. They have to give you notice. Well, did they give you notice, or did they just shut you down? Did they give you notice and say, "Oh, in 2 weeks you'll be shut down"? Is that reasonable? I can see it argued both ways. So I would think that is a question. But even if they have given you notice, did they give you just compensation? I don't believe they have. And is there necessity? Well, I think COVID-19 created the necessity in order to shut down these private businesses to stop the spread of COVID-19 for the benefit of the country, of the area, of the region. So I understand the shutting down. I understand the necessity for shutting down. But none of you, as far as I know, have received just compensation. So that is a major portion that is missing. Okay, let's summarize here. A taking. When the government takes your business so you can no longer substantially use that business. Well, they've done that. They have shut down many people's businesses for about 3 months. Many people have lost their businesses forever because of the loss of financial income and the ability to support their business. So that, I believe, is a taking. Even if the government says, "Oh, we didn't shut you down. We just postponed your ability to reopen. You can go into business now. We didn't take your business away from you. We just, postponed the business or temporarily closed your business just for a short period of time." But what if you've lost everything you've owned? What if you could not financially maintain that short period of time for your overhead? Is that a taking? I think that's a taking. And I think that's a permanent taking that the government must realize and not just give millions and millions and millions of dollars to large companies. I think they need to think about the small and the moderate size companies that are in shopping centers, the restaurants, the barber shops. And I do think there has been, which is not allowed by the Constitution, discrimination. And when I'm talking about discrimination, I'm talking about why does a hardware store have the right to remain open and a church doesn't? Wait a minute. Is there a First Amendment to the Constitution? I don't know. I don't know. Why does a one form of business more important than another form of business? Who is making these arbitrary decisions? The governor? I think there's a problem here because I think there definitely has been discrimination involved. So and I know that's unconstitutional. At least I believe that's unconstitutional. Therefore, I believe there is an unjust taking here. I also believe no compensation is an unjust taking. So if you're looking for an opportunity to get back into business, you may want to seek some legal advice. We're not giving you any legal advice. We're just trying to give you ideas. And this is something to think about as a fact pattern. How would you write this in a fact pattern? What defenses would you use? What arguments would you use in a legal fact pattern? Well, again, this is Carl Henry with Law School Notes. You can find more information on what a taking is, an eminent domain, in my ebook and in my paperback, A Constitutional Law, available on Amazon.com. I'll be talking to you soon. You take care and thank you. Bye. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Law School Notes, the better way to learn law.